Today, we're going to show you the simple process of changing your front brake pads and rotors. We'll be demonstrating this repair on a 2005 all-wheel drive Ford Escape, one of the more popular models on the road today. The repair will require a Craftsman socket set including a 6mm Allen head socket, 3/8 inch or 1/2 inch ratchet, Craftsman pry bar, bungee cords or a J-hook, a C-clamp or a caliper tool, and a dead blow hammer. You'll also need some automotive lubricant. The parts we'll need are the front brake pads and the front rotors. Before starting any vehicle maintenance, ensure a safe working environment, including protecting your eyes with safety glasses and your hands with gloves. After jacking up your vehicle and removing the wheels, we're ready to begin. The first step is to remove the spring on the front of the caliper, utilizing either a Craftsman pry bar or a screwdriver. Push until the spring pops out and remove. Next, we need to remove the 2 bolts on the back side of the caliper. Using a Craftsman 3/8 inch ratchet and a 6mm Allen head socket, ratchet until both the top and the bottom bolts are completely removed. After removing the bolts, remove the caliper from the rotor by pulling on the caliper. It should slide off with minimum force. Once you've removed the caliper, it's important to hang it from the spring, using either a J-hook or bungee cord. The reason we hang the caliper is to reduce stress and strain and possible damage to the brake line. Next, remove the old brake pads from both the caliper and the rotor. They should pull out easily with little force. In preparation for the proper installation of the new brake pads, it's necessary to compress the piston on the caliper back to its original state. Using a Craftsman C-clamp, position the C-clamp swivel head inside the piston and tighten. It's important not to position the swivel head on the outside of the piston, which can cause damage. After compressing the piston, we need to remove the 2 bolts on the back side of the caliper bracket, using a Craftsman 1/2 inch ratchet and an 18mm socket. Once the caliper bolts have been removed, pull the caliper bracket from the rotor. Next, pull the rotor off. If the rotor's stuck, you can tap and loosen the rotor by using a Craftsman dead blow hammer. And now, install the new rotor. Put the caliper bracket back into position on the rotor, then install and tighten the 2 caliper bracket bolts using your Craftsman ratchet. The next step is to install the new brake pads. Before doing so, be sure to lubricate the grooves of the brake pad plates and the edges of the caliper bracket using an automotive lubricant. Then, slide the first brake pad into the caliper bracket. For the second brake pad, we'll install into the caliper piston. Ensure that the 3 prongs fit snugly in the caliper piston. Now, place the caliper back in position on the caliper bracket. Using automotive lubricant, lube the 2 caliper bolts and install using the Craftsman ratchet and 6mm Allen head socket. Tighten completely. Finally, reinstall the front spring, which should snap into place. Before hitting the road, be sure to pump your brake pedal in order to ensure correct positioning of the brake pads. If you don't, your brakes may not work correctly. To find all the tools you need to get the job done on your vehicle, check out Sears.com. For step-by-step project plans of this and other Craftsman projects, click the link. Craftsman, when it matters.